What's up, y'all? It's your boy Nico Rossetti, and welcome to the first video on the channel. I appreciate y'all for joining. But before we get started, man, y'all make sure y'all sub up and drop a like for me, man. It goes a long way for small channels like us, you feel me? Now, something strange has happened that's got people wondering, is it curtains for LaRussell? Now, if you don't know who I'm talking about, he was born LaRussell Thomas, October 1994 in Vallejo, California. Fathering a child right out of high school, he knew he had to get some bread in the pockets because babies is not cheap. Ask me how I know. I only have one kid, by the way. But he went on to get his degree from Grand Canyon State and had a pretty good paying job in aerospace manufacturing. Something I could never do because I'm not that smart. I always know he had a passion for music and pursuing it on his own terms. LaRussell quit his job and founded his musical arts company, Good Company, in 2019. Since then, he has released multiple projects and collaborated with some big names in the industry. All the while maintaining his independence. Now, this independence is what's made him a fan favorite in the eyes of many. And yes, there have been comparisons of him to Chance the Rapper and Russ in terms of their paths of independence. But LaRussell has truly changed the game in his own way because he's changed how independent artists interact with their communities and, how they just give back to the artists that they support. He was one of the first artists to let fans pay what they want for tickets, albums, amongst other things. And so I think I first heard of LaRussell back in 2022, and I think something that came up on my timeline, but I remember that dude was nice. I remember that part. I think it was the meme where he was like,
Dad, go get that bag. Go get that bag. Get that bag. Nigga, go get that bag. Get that bag. Go get that bag. Oh no.
It was like, this is my alarm clock or something like that. Yeah, it was a good way to get introduced to him. And so I will give him that. Marketing was phenomenal. And so I can say I like LaRussell. Is he someone that I put on every day? No. Is he someone that I put on? No, not really. But when I do hear the snippets and I see, I see the visuals that he's dropping on social media, I don't think they're bad. And so I like him more for his innovation. I'm not gonna lie. I was rooting for the boy to stay independent. But fast forward all the way to February 2026, and he answered the age-old question of $1 million or dinner with Jay-Z. That boy took the dinner with Jay-Z and he signed a Rock Nation. Now, this was the beginning of his downfall because the people that praised him for not selling his soul to the major labels, they felt betrayed. Now, in his defense, he didn't sign away the structure of his own independent operation, but had partnered with the label to leverage his following. Or at least that's what he say.
They felt the best for what we were trying to achieve. I really wanted to globalize what we've built. We built something so special, and I've witnessed how many lives it's changed, and I see the feeling of people who come to this yard and find my music, and I thought it was necessary for the rest of the world to get that experience. And one thing that we struggle with independently is having representation outside of where we exist.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I'm huge where we exist, and we can do all the media platforms here, but that's not the same for Switzerland and Ireland and the UK and Indonesia and China, like everyone that I've met that has experienced what we do, it has been life-changing for them. Why would I not want to change as many lives as possible?
Now, something I found weird is how as soon as this partnership was announced, all of the major podcasts and blogs that started posting them, especially seeing as I followed them, like I said, back since 2022. And so I had never seen them posted on no jumpers. I ain't seen them posted on the academics. But when they did start posting them, it was for the right reasons. And so LaRussell's first major controversy came just a couple weeks after his signing, when he appeared on the Truth Hurts podcast and made a couple statements about Lil Wayne.
I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like, I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I think that's what
Yeah,
his
I thought
argument
about that.
was.
you know, like as someone who like grew up in these communities
Right.
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar and shit.
Right.
Like, I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of a 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And
Right.
that do bother me. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
One
what
of
I
the
was
greatest
going to say.
records
Tie My Hands
right?
is the only one I
and
can
that,
think
and,
of.
and that's the thing. It's like, if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is you're probably going to remember me for
Right.
this. And a lot of people don't, you know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn.
Now, this sparked a lot of discourse within the hip-hop community, and it seems like overnight, they had written the boy off. And what's even weird is that Rock Nation was absolutely silent during this time. You know, they didn't step in and give him a PR pivot, didn't send him a lifeline, no, I'm gonna need you to log out, none of that. It's almost like they saw his independent model, then signed him into a deal just to mess it up. And you know, that's why, in my opinion, when you build a machine like he did, there's not really much a label can do that you can't really do yourself. And so, you know, I don't know his pockets like that because I ain't a pocket watching nigga, but from the fan base and network he built over the years, I think he could have gotten a lot further without Rock Nation. And so his growth was organic, and he pretty much made a formula I saw a lot of independent and formally signed artists using. And so you really can call him a pioneer of sorts. But amidst all this turmoil, he tried to double down and probably put the nail in his own coffin in an attempt to, at least what I think, is explain himself in the music and make a statement. Yeah, he forgot what kind of society we live in, and he dropped this.
Even the devil was heaven sent. Even Malcolm was heaven sent. Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent. We all heaven sent. Donald too. We all heaven sent. Epstein too. We all heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent.
I feel like this is one of those times when the wordplay is not wordplaying enough.
Now, the reason I say he might have put the nail in his coffin is because this was received horribly. See, when you got a nigga like me, I understand where he was coming from with it. He was saying we are humans and only God can judge. But, you know, people love to point the finger and they love to cancel somebody. And so that's exactly what they did. They pointed the finger. They only listened surface level. They didn't dig any deeper. So, yeah, that was the message. He just worded it terribly. And people ran with it. People ran with it. And they ran with it so much that he ended up deleting all of his social media accounts. He just disappeared from the internet completely. And LaRussell, man, I think, you know, yes, you did word it poorly, but you didn't say anything wrong, brother. Well, you said it wrong, but your intent wasn't wrong. Let me say that. Your intent wasn't wrong. And so I see where you were trying to come from with it. But honestly, you should have either apologized or just doubled down on it. That's it. Like, they can only cancel you as far as you care. As much as you care is as much as they can cancel you. But this is really just another cautionary tale about staying in your lane. Because if LaRussell didn't have all these eyes on him after his Rock Nation deal, nobody would have batted an eye about anything he said, because it would have just been his core audience. But most of the backlash he's receiving is from people who are just now hearing of him. So, anyway, man, y'all let me know what y'all think. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And keep on saying things that'll get y'all bullied off the internet. Remember, You're perfectly fine. Everybody else is tripping. Peace.